Hello and welcome to this video on the subject of the camera club and the storage of images. My name's Barry Beckham. This topic is boring, but it's also vital. So I'm going to keep this video as short as I possibly can. When I talk about storage, I'm talking about a basic filing system, what images we store and where. Because most of us underestimate just how many images we're going to shoot over time, and we need to keep order on our computer. So here we are in Adobe's Bridge. We're looking at the file tree on the left-hand side, the place where we locate the folders that contain our images. I keep order by first keeping my finished images, as you can see here, completely separate to any of my original raw files. Now, as you can see here, I've got a separate drive for each one. Now, that's not practical on every computer. We would create a couple of folders for these, especially if you're using a laptop. But I never allow my original raw images to be saved with my finished images. Now, I download all of my original RAW files using the Bridge Photo Downloader, and you can see how that works in the Camera Club video number 2. So let's take a look in my RAW drive or a folder. It could be on your computer or laptop. You can see I've got 2 folders in here. That's only because I do also take care of some for my wife as well. But this is the one we're really interested in and the one we want to talk about. So if I open up my raw images, you can see that I have a folder for every year I've been shooting digital files. In fact, they go back earlier than 2008. But if I take you to 2025 as an example, and we open up the folder, you will see that I've got a folder for every month of the year, and I use numbers rather than the actual date of January, February, March because this keeps them all in order. 1 is January, of course, 12 is December. Now, if I go to my second month, February, now we're just in March at the moment, but when I open this up, you can see exactly how I store my images. When we use that Bridge Photo Downloader, it will automatically create a folder which corresponds with the date the images were shot. So that keeps all of my images in order throughout the year or throughout that month. But you can also see that what I generally do just to help matters along is just add a descriptor after the date, which give me a good idea of either what the topic was or where the images were shot. If I've got something like this relates to infrared. It just means these are local images, nothing too vital. But here you can see one folder that appears to have some folders within it. So here I've got one that was dated the 17th of February 2025. It's called Agnes Water, which is a place about 400k north of where I live, and I spent about 3 days there. So within that folder you can see the 3 days images that I shot while there, and as soon as I select any one of them you will see the thumbnails appear on the screen. These are all raw files. This is the way I store my raw files all of the time. I never vary it, and it's served me for well over 20 years. Now, as you can see by the file tree on the left, I've brought you back to where we started a few moments ago because I'd like to take you now to the other drive that I have, which is labelled Finished Images. And as I said before, this is going to be probably a folder on your computer, particularly if you're using a laptop. I'm going to open this up and you'll notice there's 1 or 2 other folders in here, which I'll explain in a moment. The one I'm really interested in is the Finished Images. So when I open this folder, you will see that I have a folder for every year going back to 1999. And if I go to 2024 as an example, and we can just pick any month at random, let's pick May, When I open up May, all of my finished images that I created and saved during the month of May are included here. And as soon as the date clicks over to June, then I save into the June folder. Now, as you can see here, I have brought you back to the file tree once again, to my finished folder. Just a quick word about these two folders. If we're going to put images into Camera Club competitions, we're going to be resizing those images, so a good idea in my view is to keep them separate from the raw files and the high resolution finished ones, because these are not going to be high resolution. They're going to be optimized for projection. But when I open this folder, you can see I have exactly the same file structure that I always have. I've got a folder for each year, and you can see I've only belonged to this club since late 2022. And when I open up this folder, you'll see I've got all of the different competitions throughout the year, and these are months at the moment, and we don't have a competition in January, hence we don't have a folder. And I keep the images that I want to put into the competition within that. So I've got a record as well as a place from where I can upload them. So if I go to the aged set subject for April, which were submitted in March, there you can see the 3 images I submitted. If I go back to the file tree, I can close up those within the Sunshine Coast Photo Club. The Flickr folder, probably not going to be relevant to you because I upload images to an online Flickr gallery system, but all of the images in here are copies. So at any time I can go to this folder and I can delete any of the images within it, knowing that they're going to be safely stored in my finished images folder and of course in a backup. And we'll talk about that in another video. Now, I've never felt the need for keywords or tags when I'm downloading my images. I will confess that I've tried it a couple of times, but I've found that it's rather like a New Year's resolution. It appears to be a great idea for a few weeks, but the enthusiasm to keep it up soon seems to fade. Basically, the cost to me in time and effort to do it isn't repaid with an equivalent benefit. The key takeaway here is that your filing system needs to be so simple that you can easily keep it going with the minimum of effort.